When you look at the Cleveland Browns wide receiver room heading into 2025, there's one word that comes to mind: uncertainty. What's up, football fans? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the hottest storylines in the NFL. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below to let us know what you think the Browns should do next. Let's get into it. So here's the reality. The Cleveland Browns haven't done a whole lot to fix their receiving core this offseason. Outside of bringing in Diontae Johnson, the front office has been surprisingly quiet. And in the hyper-competitive AFC, that silence could come back to haunt them. Now, Browns fans know this story all too well. The team has built a defense that can scare anybody on any Sunday. They've invested heavily in the trenches. And the running game, despite losing Nick Chubb last year, still has pieces that can pound the rock. But when it comes to wideouts, it feels like Cleveland is gambling big on a thin hand. And here's where the conversation takes a familiar turn: Amari Cooper. Yes, Amari Cooper, the same Pro Bowl receiver who once gave the Browns hope that they'd finally found a true WR1. The same Cooper who at his peak in Cleveland just 2 seasons ago racked up over 1,200 yards on 72 catches and found the end zone 5 times. Cooper had the route running, the hands, and the leadership that the locker room needed. But if you rewind just a bit, the story takes a sharp turn. Cooper was traded to the Buffalo Bills halfway through last season, a move that left plenty of fans scratching their heads. And even though Cooper landed on a contender, playing with none other than league MVP Josh Allen, the production wasn't there. Over 8 games, Cooper pulled in just 20 receptions for under 300 yards and only 2 touchdowns. For a player once considered one of the best route runners in football, that drop-off was hard to miss. Now here's where things get interesting. Amari Cooper is still sitting in free agency. At 31 years old, the clock is ticking. And with the Browns clearly needing help at wide receiver, the idea of bringing him back has popped up again in Cleveland sports talk and fan forums. Could Cooper ride back into town and save the day? Well, let's break it down. NFL insider Tony Grossi recently weighed in on this topic, and what he said might not be what Browns fans want to hear. But it makes a lot of sense. According to Grossi, trading Cooper away for a 3rd-round pick may have been one of the smartest moves the Browns front office has made under GM Andrew Berry. Despite Cooper's strong connection with quarterback Joe Flacco in 2023, the reality is that Cooper's best days might truly be behind him. Grossi points out something important. Even with an MVP-caliber quarterback throwing him the ball, Cooper struggled to produce last season. It wasn't about a lack of targets or opportunity. It looked more like Father Time catching up. And if we're being honest, there's a reason Cooper is still unsigned this deep into the offseason. NFL teams know what he can do at his peak, but they've also seen the signs of decline. So where does this leave the Browns? It leaves them staring at a thin depth chart behind Diontae Johnson. It leaves them with question marks about whether younger receivers can step up and make plays when it counts. And it leaves fans wondering if the team will make another move before Week 1 kicks off. Here's the tough truth, though. Even if Cooper came back, would he really be the player the Browns need him to be? Or would it just be another short-term fix that keeps the team from developing younger talent or making a bigger splash in the future? From a roster-building standpoint, bringing Cooper back could cost valuable cap space, and that's money the Browns might need elsewhere, especially with quarterback questions still hovering over the team. At the same time, it's hard not to see why fans want Cooper back. He was productive, reliable, and played through pain. He gave Cleveland something to cheer about during seasons that often felt like a roller coaster. And who wouldn't want to see that number 2 jersey catching passes again in First Energy Stadium? But football, as we know, is a business, and the Browns front office has to think long-term, not just emotionally. So let's circle back. Will the Browns bring back Amari Cooper? Based on what we know, and based on what Tony Grossi is hearing, it's unlikely. And maybe, just maybe, that's actually for the best. Because the last thing this team needs is to chase a name from the past instead of building toward the future. If the Browns want to compete with the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, and all those AFC powerhouses, they'll need fresh legs, explosive playmakers, and a receiving core that can stretch defenses every Sunday. Amari Cooper gave Browns fans some great memories, but it looks like that chapter has closed. What do you think, though? Should the Browns roll the dice one more time and bring Cooper back? Or is it smarter to stick to the plan and keep building through the draft and younger free agents? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We really want to hear what you think. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with every Browns fan you know. That's all for today's deep dive into the Browns wide receiver dilemma and the Amari Cooper debate. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time, right here, breaking down the NFL's biggest stories, rumors, and insider scoops. Until then, stay tuned, stay loud, and as always, go Browns!